So welcome to my class, and in this I'm going to explain very briefly as to why is there an increase in demand. What are the determinants that, or what are the factors that cause increase in demand? So just have a look. Why is there a rightward shift? So quickly we'll take a look at this. As you can see, look at this. So first is rise in the price of substitutes. If there's a rise in the price of substitute, then what happens? Then the demand for that particular good will increase. The demand for the other substitute will increase. Now suppose if there's a fall, and secondly, let's talk about fall in the price of complementary goods. So if there's a fall in the price of complementary goods, there will be a rightward shift in the demand for that particular complementary goods. See, for example, if there's a fall in the price of petrol, the complementary good, that is car, the demand for car will increase. Now, for example, let's take the other one, rise in income in case of normal good. If there's a rise in income, there'll be an increase in demand. There'll be a rightward shift. At the same price, you will demand more. Now, if there is a fall in income in case of inferior goods, what happens? Due to a fall in the income in case of an inferior good, the demand for that particular inferior good will increase. That's a paradox that we studied. And of course, if there's a favorable change in taste, then there'll be an increase in demand. There'll be a rightward shift in demand. So having said this, we are going to do what are the causes of decrease in demand, or explain the situation when demand curve shifts backwards or leftwards. So if you've understood or if you've gone through this, you will quickly understand what are the causes for decrease in demand. So let's just start with this. For example, now look at these questions. For example, if suppose there's a fall in the price of substitutes, if there's a fall in the prices of substitutes, then what happens? There'll be a backward shift in the demand curve. If there's a rise in the price of complementary goods, there'll be a leftward shift in the demand curve again. Like for example, we talked about if there's a rise in the price of petrol, and what happens? The demand for the complementary good, that's car, will shrink. It'll decrease. So again, fall in income in case of normal good. If it's a normal good, there's a fall in income, then what happens? Then your demand will decrease. Suppose there's a rise in income, and in case of inferior goods, you will stop buying those inferior goods and you will go on to a better variety of a good, and that's how that will lead to a fall in the demand for inferior goods. And then of course there's this, if your taste change or fashion changes, so at the same price you will demand less, so there'll be a decrease in demand. So well, these are some of the causes. These are the causes that you're going to talk about, say the decrease in demand and the increase in demand. So I'll take up a question or so on especially the substitute goods in the next class.